Hello everyone and welcome to GTA Online Discussion episode 10. I'm here with someone you guys may know, Shaggy aka G-Unit. Do you want to introduce yourself, Shaggy?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? Well, you know, I don't really introduce myself, but you know how it is.
There it is, that's the one.
That's the one. But let's get straight into this video, man. What's it about?
Yeah, man, we're talking about a racing update for GTA, and you know, we've seen lots of different DLC packs for GTA, all different various themes, but we haven't seen anything for a racing update. You know, it's something that a lot of us who have subscribed to both of our channels really want to see, really want, you know, more racing in GTA. We really enjoy it. So we've got these ideas for a racing update, to what we'd like to see in a racing DLC, and we're basically just going to go through all of the points and explain why we want to see these things, and then I'll explain at the end how you guys can help us with that as well. So the first one is something that we've covered before, which is a racing cars class. You know, I've put a video on this before. I'll link that in the description. But Shaggy, do you want to take that away and talk about why we want a specific racing cars class and balanced cars?
First of all, obviously they've clearly introduced two race cars already in the game. The race car was Jester and Massacro. So that's just within their own sort of class because they have an advantage with, you know, performance tweaks. So why not have extra cars within the class that are popular, that a lot of people like, that obviously are close to the performance of the existing race cars, but obviously if there was a race car version to that, it will be fair, because with that class in itself, it will make it more viable for fair, clean racing for all the cars put together, like the Felter, Comet. There's all sorts, you know, that you could possibly list that people want to use, and it's perfect for just the simple fairness and performance tweaks as well, because right now currently just two cars in the race car class by himself. It's not really, I don't know, it's just quite restricting and kind of makes the existing sports class a bit unbalanced.
Yeah, it is a shame that in a lot of the classes there's only one or two different cars that are really on the pace in a high level race that you can really use. So to have a lot of different cars, the most important part about it is that it doesn't matter what really class they're in, they can stay in the sports class if they want. But the most important thing is that they're all just balanced for performance. You know, the 9F, the Felter, the Comet, all of these race car variants of different cars that have, you know, similar cars in real life as well. All we want is them to be balanced for performance, so that you can use any different car and they'll give you different feels when you're driving them, but they give you the similar lap times. For example, the video that you put up recently about the Entity and the Turismo battle, two completely different cars with two very different driving styles, but we've both found in our testing that they're so close together on pace, and you can have really good battles with them, and it makes it more interesting because they are different cars and they have different features to them. Exactly. It's not just using the same car with a different colour over and over again that everybody learns and then that's the end of it.
Yeah, to be fair, at the before they introduced the whole race car class for Massacro, well, not class, but just the two new race cars for sports, it was the sports car, you know, the whole category for that class was really, really well balanced. I mean, there's so much variety. Right now it seems a bit, you know, like sort of everyone just wants to go with the race car Jester, and I can understand, but it's sort of just, you know, what's the point of having the other cars in the class in the first place? You know, a lot of people just, all you see nowadays in racing is just a race car. And personally, from my experience from seeing people drive that and not using it properly, can really, really ruin the racing experience, man. It's one of those things with, it's got a fat rear and it's just got, but that's just my opinion. But the thing is, honestly, it needs to be a separate class for that, like the race car class for all the other cars suited for it. Yeah,
and yeah, that was one of the sort of additional things that if we do get all of these cars, it would be much better if they were actually in a proper class just for themselves. Yeah. And given a bit more of a bump in performance, really, because race cars in real life are much quicker than supercars. So it would be good to have a race cars class that were the very top of the game, even quicker than bikes. So yeah, that's kind of the first thing that we really want. Just some options with what we can actually race with and some balanced cars, really.
I just hope, even with that being said, sorry, like Rockstar can just acknowledge that this game actually, you know, it has so much potential for racing, and not just put us in a corner, like, because from recent Rockstar verified jobs, man, it's been like they completely don't really understand or don't even care that we even exist or haven't even noticed that. I don't know what it is, but wow, it's yeah, this game is amazing for racing. I just hope that people will be more aware of this, and hopefully they can see that as well from this video.
Yeah, and I can understand when people say, oh, it's not a racing game, go and play Forza, go play Gran Turismo. Yes, fair enough. If you want true racing experience, that's what you will play. But the beauty of Grand Theft Auto is that it gives you so many options. You know, it's a sandbox game that you can just do anything you want with. You can create all of these amazing tracks. You can have these amazing events like the multi-class races that I'm doing soon. You know, you can build up all of this on your own. It's like why Minecraft is so popular, because you can just have that ability to do what you want. So the idea that, you know, racing in GTA isn't something that we should be looking at is stupid, because it really is. It's a lot of fun. There is a skill level to it. You've got to be good at it to be able to get those lap times and get those good races. So, you know, it is a shame that Rockstar don't really pay attention to us as much as other areas. I mean, yeah, they've got a lot of stuff that they need to focus on, but it would be nice to have just a racing DLC like this that would just let us know that they know that we exist, really. Yeah,
man, it's the freedom essentially what brings the experience, plus the connecting to players instantly and just getting it done. Just you know what the crazy thing is, as soon as a player creates the job, you can have immediately 30 players in that lobby to try and test it out. Like, how crazy, that is just amazing. That in itself, right, with no, obviously we have connection issues, this and that, but the fact that it's still quick, it's just right away, instant. You know, creating content, obviously you got to spend a lot of hours and whatnot, putting the props down, but even just the basics of it, multiple jobs with no limitations. There's no limitations that amount of jobs you can make, you know, even how many jobs you could bookmark. You know, that's the amazing part of GTA 5. Like, there's so much creativity involved, man. But let's keep this rolling, man. Let's keep this rolling.
Yeah, so next point is racing overalls and helmets. A few people have mentioned this before in the comments of my videos. It's something that we'd really like to see. Obviously, if we're going to have a Racecars class, the idea that I've had is to have sort of a racing overall to match each car. So you know how you've got a different design on the Massacro race car as you do to the Jester race car. Then you would have a racing overall that would have the same design for the Massacro race car, same design as the Jester, and you just match it up with whatever race car you choose to pick. And with, you know, say 10 different race cars, 10 different racing overalls and helmets that all match up together, you can have different colours with them as well. Just to add to that experience of you are a racing driver.
Along with that, yeah, that's great. But along with that idea, you can also have the nationalities of people, you know, what sort of backgrounds they represent. Even on the, you know, where you see people's, when you press down arrow during the race, you can see people's placings and positions along with the gap between the lap times. But next to their names, you can have simply the nationality, the flags. Just like, you know, they brought in the option with the marshal to choose, you know, what sort of nationality you want to represent with that livery, along with what else is there? The Dukes. Yeah. So that's you can just see that they can clearly do that. So why not add it to racing? You know, it's just something nice to have. It could be a default setting on the PlayStation, you know, under your profile settings, and it could just easily synchronize with the servers on GTA 5. I don't know, but do something. It would be just nice to get people involved, to see where people representing their, you know, what nation, what nationality, and just, you know, a little bit, just a little nice thing. You can even do team events with the nationalities. You know, someone, you know, another guy might be from Sri Lanka. I can represent Sri Lanka with that guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, so another guy from Jamaica with some Momoras. You know what I'm saying? This is nice. And the UK, India, man, that's the thing. So we can even do this. That would be so jokes, man. Just hosting up an event, multi-class racing.
It would add a lot to it. And other racing games do that as well, and show different flags and that kind of stuff. You could even have it on the cars themselves. Like, you know, in real life, they have the flag next to the name on the cars, on the window, so you could do that as well. There's so many options.
Heck yeah.
It shouldn't be too difficult to implement.
Yeah, like in Ponte Duke's got that. Why not every other car in the game, man? It's just like, you know, it's there, you can do it. I don't know why they're longing it out. It's just, why so specific as well? Why so specific to the Ponte Dukes? I don't know.
Yeah, why not every car? Yeah. Right, next one. New props. This is a big one.
Oh Lord.
New props.
Wait. Before we move on to the new props, let's talk about existing new props, I suppose you could say, for the PS4.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? What's your thoughts on that? Like the whole sort of massive tire strips, the massive tire racks, I guess you could say.
For me, they have their place. I think that they are, for a racing circuit, they are better on, you know, on the outside of a corner. Say, you know, they are what you want for the outside of a track. You know, in terms of realism and things like that, tire barriers wouldn't be on the inside of a track. They'd be on the outside. They wouldn't be what you use to define a corner. They'd be on the outside of a corner in case you spin off and wreck into the tires. You know, that's what you would have. They are quite big. They are quite bulky. The problem that I have with some of the larger ones is that the clipping that you get with them and the placements, you just can't place them in the right areas sometimes, and it's really specific how they do, especially on banks and things like that. So I do like them. I do like the fact that we have some racing specific props. I just wish that we had the one thing that I really, really hoped that they were going to bring based on the pictures that we saw before next gen was released. Yeah, the rumble strips.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. The thing is though, what they brought in, the new ones, the new props, I personally feel, still this day, they were kind of lazy with it, because initially they've just brought in one sort of design, but they copied and pasted it. You know, like for example, the tire barriers. There's only there's a black design, there's one that's stripped, and there's another one that's just a plain old yellow boring color.
Yeah.
So
they're basically the same thing with different designs on them.
Like, why not? You know, instead of copy and pasting it 3 times, I have other designs that are unique, like rumble strips, or just something, even if it's not rumble strips, something similar to that, or you know,
even just different levels, like, you know, the different heights of tire barrier as well for different areas or something like that. You know, it like you say, it's a fair point actually. They've just done the same design 3 times with different colors.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, you can just tell it's like extreme laziness, or I don't know where the motive is or where it comes from to provide for who or cater for who. Clearly, they haven't acknowledged actual racing channels like us. But you know, it's I don't know. It's nice. Of course, it's nice because it doesn't take up. You don't have to take up, you know, too many props for a particular section with the longer barriers and whatnot. But it's still,
when you actually look at all the other props that they included, with all the rocks and the plants and the trees and all that kind of stuff, and then you think, well, we got a few tire barriers. Thanks for that.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell is the ratio? Where's that gonna go into creativity? Yeah, okay, looks all right, but we're playing for the experience. You know, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, but we gotta have new props. We gotta have rumble strips or something.
Rumble strips are the one thing that we need, really. When we saw them before New Gen came out in the pictures, everybody thought we were going to have rumble strips.
Yeah,
and I was so excited about it, because that would have just made the experience perfect. And they've got it in the game. They had it in the single player races. Why can't we use those?
Yep, and that's just so misleading just from one screenshot. Even I made a video about it. I was so excited, man. That's the worst part.
I know, you'd get so excited about it, and then they just, you know, we're not going to give you those. Yep. Sorry.
It was I don't know, man. It's so much excitement built over a PS4 version of GTA 5, but it's been how many months now? 3 months, and there's hardly been any sort of differences except from just what we discussed. And racing experience hasn't really changed as much, I suppose you could say. But
yeah, it's
I don't
pretty
know.
much the same racing experience that we're all used to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that the turbo was broken for that entire period, it was even a downside in itself, and it was just I don't know, stressful period, man. And it still is at the moment with the servers and the issues, and I don't know, but we'll see. But what about the checkpoint placements, man? Yeah,
the idea with the rumble strips as well, it would be that if you go over the rumble strips, then you get a penalty. Right. Your car cuts out for a few seconds, or you go invisible or something like that, or you have to respawn at the checkpoint or whatever. But if you have a rumble strip on a corner and you go over it, you go outside of what the creator has deemed to be the limits of the track, you get penalised for it. And that would stop all of the, you know, having to place barriers in certain areas that can get in the way. You've got a clearly defined track there that is marked out by those rumble strips, and they can be lazy with those as well. They can just create some corner ones, some long ones, put some different colours on them so we can have a bit of a choice. You know, they can be lazy with that, that's fine, but just give us the rumble strips in the first place and make them actually do something.
But the way I see it is, I love the idea, man. But the thing is, even that is a bit too extreme. I think that'll be a bit too extreme for Rockstar's capability. Yes, they should be capable of doing that, I do feel, but from what they've provided recently and how they've been catering to the mainstream media and the whole sort of that target, I honestly don't think they would do the whole penalizing thing for rumble strips. That'll be too much of a whole hassle
that's
for them.
kind of a pipe dream, I guess you could say. Just something that I would like to see.
However, but the thing is, it would be great to see. But I think what alternative solution would be, instead of like a rumble strip thing that I can put in penalizing, whatever, a prop that possibly that can have in content creator option that they can program in, where you could scale the props instead of, you know, having restricted to place a particular prop, if you know what I'm saying. So you can curve a prop around a particular corner that's required for that size on that apex.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that would be good.
But there's a limit of the scale. So let's say minimum amount is this that you have the base, and then max is that, you know, like let's say 10 centimeters. I don't know, just whatever scaling there is. But so it doesn't break the game. There's obviously a limit to how much you can place as well with the props, but there's also a limit of the space that you take up. So that would be perfect. I'm sure they can do that. I'm 100% sure, because if the game can handle us glitching props in buildings through the left right trick, you know, swifting through that quickly, I'm sure they can just simply you know, have
just give us the options
scaling,
for that sort of thing. Exactly, yeah. And even if they don't provide any extra features with the rumble strips, you could always make it yourself by putting the checkpoints in the right areas, so that if you do go over the rumble strip, you just miss the checkpoint.
Oh, exactly.
So there are always, you know, creative people are going to find ways to make proper races, as long as they just give us the tools to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So next one, multi-class racing. I've talked about this before in the past. I'll leave a link again to the video in the description. Multi-class racing, just having 2 different classes or even 3 different classes all racing together, sedans and compacts, or bikes and vans, you know, whatever you want, cause mayhem, or have some vehicles that are close together. Obviously this would work quite well if you have a Racecars class as well, or even multiple racecar classes. For example, the top Racecars class would have the Massacro, the Jester, and all of the cars that are quicker than the supercars. The second class might have the Buffalo, or those kind of things that we've seen in single player that are a little bit slower, but they're all close together again in terms of pace. You could have multi-class races between them as well. Just again, a bit more option in how we can race.
It essentially is an option, because, you know, they've got Rally, GTA Race option, non-contact. Just have multi-class there. Just stroll it in there. Exactly,
and just add a bit of variety to races, especially in large lobbies. You know, you want something to fight for. Even if you're not going to be up at the front, you could just you know, have 2 different races or 3 different races going on at the same time.
Yeah, but
obviously
with more
we're doing that. We're doing that, sort of having to do that ourselves with the multi-class championship. Just allow it for regular racing. It's not that difficult. They've got Team GTA races as an option. It's just a variation of that, really.
Exactly, and honestly, like, it's simply an option, isn't it? It's an option, and the fact that obviously now with just 30 players in a race, it kind of becomes a bit hectic, right? People are becoming impatient from the 30th, you know, between the 20th, 30th placings, even 10th onwards, and it just becomes a massive cluster in the first corner, right? People are reckless, even on the rule sets given, and, you know, we shout down the microphones, you know, be patient, but at the end of the day, it will never work. But with organization, with restrictions at the start of the race, you know, like you were saying, moving on to now, non-contact, temporary starts, you know, so clean.
Yeah, that's the next one. Basically, to have a clean start to a race. Just give us it's just another option. Just if people want to use it, they can use it. Have a non-contact temporary option. You've got the standard, you've got the non-contact fully, but a temporary non-contact. So for the first 2 or 3 checkpoints, or for the first 10 or 20 seconds, everybody's in non-contact format, and then they go back to being contact, and then you have the best of both worlds. The start isn't a total mess, and then you get the proper contact racing after that.
Just make sure you're not inside someone else's car when you're about to go.
Yeah, I would hope that Rockstar would be able to actually, you know, allow it to delay the non-contact until cars have actually removed themselves from each other. I would hope that they would implement that if they implemented this, because that would just be a massive cluster.
Yeah, that would be a logical thing to do, and yeah, it will be extremely I don't know, it will make people, you know, more prepared, prepare themselves in the positions, hold that position, and really just go for it. Nice smooth experience, get rid of all the laggy loading synchronization with the players in the lobby at the start of the job, because that is the issue with having more than 20 players. It's the floating, and it's what when you get all the players that should synchronize with the job, and the timing is delayed through the actual start. You know, when some people, I don't know, this has happened more frequently on the newer versions of the game. You know, when some people just randomly go 5 seconds earlier than the other player.
Yeah, that's what's that all about?
It's got to be to do with the synchronization of the jobs because of the amount of players in the lobby. So I don't think the game can actually handle that many players, to be honest. But the solution is perfect, man. Non-contact, go for it. Yeah,
and also this all helps with random races as well. So people who are sick and frustrated of getting knocked off at the start or anything like that, even if they're just doing random races, you can have catch up and slipstream on if you want. But a non-contact temporary option just for the start, it makes everybody's life a little bit easier and a bit more enjoyable. Who like to actually race properly anyway.
Exactly. There's so much freedom in this game. It's unreal. Satisfies everyone. Yeah. Hopefully just services a bit better. So yeah, more checkpoints.
You want to go on to the next one? The grid order?
Oh, yeah, grid order along with more checkpoints. That's
hopefully. Oh yeah, more checkpoints. Forgot about that one. And a higher prop limit.
Definitely.
I'm thinking sort of 100, 150 checkpoints, 200 to 300 props.
Yeah, that could work. How many checkpoints do you have total now? 68, right?
68, which hasn't actually improved from last gen. It was exactly the same.
Yeah, so you were saying 150 or 200, or is that props?
About 100, 150, I would say, checkpoints.
That'll be good enough, but hopefully, just, I don't know how long that a track would be. It would be about, you can make some insanely long tracks.
I have an amazing idea for a track. I'll tell you now. If they ever, I think I could probably just get it done with 100 checkpoints. But I would like a little bit of leeway as well. I'd need more props though as well.
Exactly, that's the balance. That's the part they got to balance out. Hopefully they do bring it out. They don't just stop it here just because it's, you know, the new version. Have this, that's it. Hopefully they move on and add more.
Keep adding to it. Exactly.
Yeah. Hopefully they do it every DLC and not just, you know, bringing new vehicles, not new clothes, or just add, you know, more, like, you know, have something for us to expect to do with the content creator, you know, have something expecting to do with the props, something like that, to keep the game going, keep it more exciting, keep it more flowing, so people can sit there and wait for these things to come up instead of, you know, the same old generic new cars, new clothes, you know, this sort of stuff. It gets a bit boring after a while, you know. It is nice to have, but have a mixture and a variety of new things.
Yeah, absolutely. In a DLC, you're always going to have some new clothes and new weapons, but it would be nice to have some proper features for the various different aspects that all have a part in GTA.
Exactly, man. But let's move on to choosing the starting grid, man.
Yeah, starting grid. Obviously, it's so annoying in playlist races.
Yeah, it's annoying.
You go.
All right, because, you know, first of all, hosting the playlist. This is something that I get pissed off personally, because from my point of view, when I host a playlist, you know, I get a lot of bashing through people that, you know, oh, just because you got the pole advantage, you're going to win the race. I can understand where they're coming from, of course. From my experience of starting pole, I find it comfortable to be consistent because there's nothing to attack or fight for. I just have to hold my position, of course.
Yeah, the advantage of starting on pole position or even second is huge. And that's especially in a 30-player race.
Exactly, and you know, the grid splits up, and it's always those first 5 people in that grid that gets the advantage to have a battle amongst themselves, and people at the back, you know, I think considering in perspective of 5-lap race, you know, it's impossible to even attack for the top 10, even if you're starting at 15th. Let's be realistic. So it can get a bit. It's one of those things is people see it as a time waste to race. You know, it becomes extremely demotivating. There's nothing to play for. You're essentially racing yourself. So it's important that implementing some sort of option within the settings before confirming it. Or I don't know how you can do some. Maybe you have a better idea of that. But choose a starting grid before the race, or even on the content creator. I don't know. Actually, that's not my idea, but I'll let you carry on with this one, man.
Well, my basic idea was that in the lobby screen beforehand, you just have 3 options: either random, so it's completely random where people start. It's the same as the finishing position in the previous race, so first place, whoever finished first starts in first, whoever finished second starts in second, or it's reverse order, so whoever finishes first starts at the back. You know, just again giving us the option to do what we need to do. Sometimes you can set it to random and just see where you end up. If you want to have a proper playlist, really, you would have it on starting in the same finishing position, so you can, if you are at the back, you can work your way up throughout the races. Just give us the option to be able to not have the grid exactly the same in every single player created race. With the host at the I hate hosting races. I hate being at the front.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
That's the issue I've had, and yeah, I had to overcomplicate the whole starting grid. But yeah, that's exactly what we spoke about this a while back actually, about the whole starting. Like I made a video about it ages ago, and it's exact idea of the whole randomizing it. But during the playlist, certainly, like you said, whoever wins the first race or the top 3, it goes from the reverse order from the first. Let's say 15 players. The 15 players finish in the order, but then it gets reversed in the second race with the first person starting last.
Even it out a little bit. Yeah.
And it goes like that. But what about for single races, like just solo races? Is that randomized, right? Just random option? I
would definitely have it random every time. Yeah, absolutely. Just because, you don't want the host on the front all the time. It's silly.
And I'm sure they should have really thought about that as well. I don't know why they just always want the host to be at the front. It's just, I don't know how they coded that, but they should have even thought logically, like, what's the point of giving advantage to the host every single time? It should be
exactly.
I don't know, man. But
anyway, next thing, weapons. You got to have some weapons in a DLC. You've got to have some weapons. If it's going to be a racing update, we'll have some racing or car-related weapons. I was thinking something like a large wrench, or a spanner, or a drill, blowtorch. Good ammunition. Get these weapons. You don't necessarily have to use them on your car. You could use them against other people. We're not gonna say what you can do with them, but some racing or automotive related weapons would be quite cool. I'm thinking more melee type stuff.
What if they programmed the JB700 to actually make the guns work in the front? That would be so sick. Have a team playlist, one person controlling the guns at the front, and the other guy driving. Fucking perfect.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That would be class. That
would be sick. That would be sick. I honestly think about it.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Already in the game, it's designed on top of the car's hood, so bloody program it, make those bullets shoot out and kill some motherfuckers in it. That's basically how it should be.
Sick. That would be the next level of GTA race. That
I know exactly. That's
vehicle death matches.
Yeah, fuck getting out of your cars, man. Just stick in your car with your brother and protect him like homies, isn't it? That's it. Win that race.
That would be excellent. That would be excellent. That would be so much fun. I don't know why they didn't release that car.
Oh my lord, that's a perfect idea, man. Whoever works on, I don't know. Exactly, they should have done it. It was so baffling because it works. It works in single player. They've programmed it in single player, and in one of the missions, it was so fun. I was like, what the hell is this new experience? I would never.
You get to use it for one mission.
Yeah,
it's
wow. So restricting, man. It's like, oh, so you're telling me to go back to that mission every time and replay it to get that experience. Like, how limiting is that, brother? Come on, man.
But then, the fact it wouldn't exactly be OP. They've got tanks in the game. They've got lasers. They've got all kinds of stuff that you can destroy you immediately. It's not as if it's going to be OP. Just add it. Make it cost a bit more than the regular JB700 if you want. But just give us the option to use it.
Yeah, man. Even imagine little blades sticking out from the skirts of the car.
God, that would be incredible. That would be incredible.
And then the switch on the hydraulics, boom! The car goes flipping next to you. My side-by-side action. Yeah, that's a bit extreme, but that's a bit. That would be crazy.
That would be amazing. In a race, side by side, and you just wreck his tires. Doesn't matter whether he's got bulletproof tires on or not.
Exactly.
Just gets absolutely wrecked.
Yo, these ideas, man. Where are they, Rockstar? I'm sure a lot of people have already spoke about this. I'm sure JB700 was mentioned a while back. I don't think this is getting enough attention. A lot of people worry too much about heists at the moment, and
I know,
I'm sure I don't want to ruin everything. I'm sure like ruin the hype. Sorry, but the whole heist thing, I'm just suggesting, like, don't be too excited for that, man. This is something that was forced upon Rockstar by the community. So I don't know.
They're going to be good, but don't expect them to blow your mind like the game did initially.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. Yep.
Wow. So, last thing. Default race options added to the creator. So, we've got the choice to have traffic on or off. We've got the choice to set it to have the wanted levels on or off or anything like that. But they don't give us the option in the creator to have catch up or slipstream on or off by default. I mean, yes, you know, obviously the option's always going to be there for people to turn it on if they want. But if I want to create a race like Los Santos Grand Prix, and I want it to be a proper racing experience, I want catch-up and slipstream to be turned off by default, just like I want traffic to be turned off by default, wanted levels. Why can't you let me do that in the creator?
Yeah,
let us create the tracks that we want to create.
Yeah, and the purpose for it, exactly. And the purpose.
And most
for
people
that.
just load up a race and don't change the default settings. So if people are loading up my race, I want it to be on the default settings that I want them to race on. Yeah. Because it's my race.
At the end of the day, people don't want to be forced to do stuff when they've already clicked the job to load up. They just want to start up right away. Obviously, a lot of people's attention spans these days are like a fish. So, you know, you have to, you know, have the settings there ready for them without them having to choose it. It's just, you know, satisfaction of the consumer. And boom, they're in the race. And that the way we intended it, the content creators. So, you know, no need for them to switch off and straight away, you know, the content creator, like you said, if the option was there, we won't allow any of that for the purpose of our race, and the intent of the race is there without catch-up or slipstream. Quite simply, person that wants to do that race knows exactly what is required from this, from the settings there, from the content creator, and boom, everyone's on equal, you know, playing field. And there, the purpose is there. It's efficient as well, time efficient. Not having to scroll up and down the controller, the D-pad. It's bang, get into the action, man. That's what GTA should be. Service, man.
It's just options. We've spoke about options so much during this video. It's just all about giving us the option to do what we want to do.
Yep, and
Rockstar don't seem to do that. They want to force us into doing separate things and not give us the option to be as creative as we could be. And it's a creative game. Just give us the option to do anything that we want.
And we're essentially the vocals. We're trying to be the vocalists for what the people actually want, the actual feedback that Rockstar should be wanting initially. This is not something that's complicated, and I'm sure a company like Rockstar should, you know, should be easily should cope with these ideas or even feedback to generally improve the experience for the consumers who paid for a service. You know, double the same price for the new version, but we haven't seen anything yet.
Double the in benefits.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I'm kind of disappointed, and I haven't really felt that excitement that I first had when playing GTA 5, because that's what you should have when you purchase a brand new version of the game, when you're paying, you know, a little bit extra money for it as well, and it feels the same. That's the issue. It feels the same at the moment, and really should think about this stuff that we've discussed, because initially, obviously, this is what the community wants. This is what this obviously, I don't know how big this community wants it. I don't know what the demand is, but I'm gonna leave this to you as to how people can help out. And
I mean, we understand that we're a small community. We don't have a, you know, compared to the entire the entire game of GTA, the racing community is reasonably small, but I wouldn't say it was tiny. You know, there's so many people that like to race properly. These aren't such wild ideas that it's not going to impact on a lot of people, and even it will help the experience for people who don't like to race properly as well. So now we're talking to you guys. If you guys have actually managed to make it all the way through this video, listen to us ramble on for God knows how long it's been. I think it's definitely over half an hour.
It's been exactly 35 minutes.
There you go, 35 minutes, professional here. If you guys actually want to help us out and get this word out there, we've done this sort of thing before, check in the description, because I'm going to leave all the links that you need in there. We're going to try and tackle them on various different fronts, you know, email, obviously this video, but also the Rockstar support forums. I remember when the turbo was broken, that was the one place that when I posted a thing on there, we got it upvoted, and that finally sent a message to Rockstar, this is what we need doing, and they responded. So I'm going to also post on there. That's probably the most important place to go. The link, again, I'll leave it in the description. Go there and click, you know, upvote it, leave a comment, say that this is the kind of thing that you want to see. If we get a lot of people doing that, it's just showing that this is the kind of thing that community wants. And obviously I'll make a proper post about everything that we've discussed and give a full account of the racing sort of update or DLC that we want as well.
Please!
That's it. That's the video done. You can stop listening. The most important thing is you could look in the description and go and click all that stuff and help us out to try and see some of these things in the game.
Yep, guys, this is it. This is what we have to do now. We need to get this video across. We need to get these ideas across because I'm sure 99.9% of you guys agree with everything what we just said here. And it's something that is important that we get Rockstar's attention, because right now Rockstar are only focusing on the mainstream crowd, and the mainstream crowd, I have to be honest, are rather ignorant when it comes to this sort of stuff. So I would just suggest that the only way to get our experiences and to get what we paid for worthwhile is to get this out there and to let them know that this game has extreme potential for what we just suggested, and no other game can provide that, because essentially, like we said, this is like Minecraft but in a GTA point of view, and it's amazing. The game is fantastic, but there's so much more that can be done to this game just because of the freedom and the options available. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, everyone.
Subscribe,
leave a like,
leave
comment,
a like, comment.
Leave a like, all that stuff.
See you guys next time.
Everyone. Bye, guys.